Today on the channel, it's Sting, and we celebrate an icon with a brand new 3-pack from Jazzwares Vault.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Jazzwares Vault AEW unboxing and review. And today we got something extremely special. Finally, after about a year and change, we finally got the Legacy of Sting 3-pack. Once again, a Jazzwares Vault exclusive and a 1 of 6,000 set right here. But of course, for all your Jazzwares Vault needs, Jazzwares Vault. But eventually, possibly, Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Got to get a deal out there. And we celebrate the Legacy of Sting here, and I'd be amiss, as of right now, about an hour ago, got the unfortunate news of the Ozzy Osbourne passing. Of course, Ozzy Osbourne, one of my absolute all-time favorites. Just absolutely defeated with this news here from Ozzy. It's one of those guys you think is going to live forever, and he just came from his retirement show. It's just wild. It's almost like a bookend of a life, a career, whatever you want to call it, but very shocked to get that news. I got a call from Jeff George. Good friend of the channel, Jeff George. I'm going to see him in like 12 hours from now in San Diego. We're meeting up out there. He got the call. He called me, and then a couple minutes later, there it was all over the internets and everything else. So definitely tragic news for us heavy metal fans, Ozzy fans. I just literally got done filming an episode, the latest episode that you'll see next week on the channel, my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found, video cast on YouTube. Scrapped the whole idea for that episode and basically did an Ozzy tribute. And we were going to do Ozzy on there anyways, so absolutely wild. I don't know, but we're going to get through it here. We're going to do it. The power of Sting is what we're going to do. Is Sting one of my all-time absolute favorite wrestlers of all time? Of course, I'm a little Stinger going back to being a little kid, and I did get to meet Sting a year ago or so. What is time once again? But I am very happy to get this set in my collection. 3 Sting figures. The only thing better than 3, Todd McFarlane, is 5 Sting figures, 6 Sting figures. Keep the Stings coming. I'll keep buying them, and I will probably pick up another edition of this set. It is 1 of 6,000. It is $100, but who knows? Maybe I'll get lucky. I'll get a sale over there at Jazzwares Vault, because I really feel like I need to keep this mint in box in my collection. But here, we're a science-first channel. We're going to do it for science. We're going to do it for Beekman and his world. We're going to unbox this Sting, and we're going to do this video like we do all the other videos on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. Of course, beautifully packaged by the Jazzwares Vault team. Legacy of Sting shipper box here. Of course, it was a box inside of another box inside of another box with protection on the corners. I can't imagine not getting this mint. If you didn't get it mint, your FedEx, UPS guy, whatever it may be, was kicking this down the driveway for you is what he was doing. But very cool packaging design right there. See you later. Goodbye. But now we're getting down to business here. We're getting down to this Sting box set. How cool is this thing right here? You do get the 1 of 6,000 sticker right there. So they made 6,000 of this. I don't think 3,000 would have been enough for the old Stinger. So 6,000 feels good. Like I said, I'll probably track down another one of these to keep mint in package, of course. But Sting looking only like a Sting could look if he was in AEW Jazzwares. Very modern day kind of graphics on this one, too. It's like Blood Runs Cold or something like that is what it reminds me of, too. Legacy of Sting, 8 and up on here. You 7-year-olds, you can't handle Sting. Go check out Sting the Musician. You can't handle this Sting, that's for sure. 3 pieces, it says, with this AEW, and you got Sting kind of haunting the backgrounds here. And there is a little bit of good, bad, and ugly with this. We'll get to it once we get them out of the package. Legacy of Sting right there on the side. A good weight to this set as well, I will say that. Legacy of Sting on top. Jibber and Jabber down here from Jazzwares. And then you get a little Sting over here on the side. But very cool how this opens up. Very bookend style here. Looking very, very cool. 3 figures. It feels like there should be like 5. Remember that old Toy Biz set from back in the day? An amazing set once upon a time. I would have loved it if they would have done something very similar, kind of a tribute to that back in the day. That was probably the greatest thing Toy Biz ever did from wrestling. Yeah, it's true. I didn't like the TNA stuff, didn't like the WCW stuff, of course. But I do like this right here. Now, it is very interesting. You get 3 different looks of Sting. Not quite Sting's most iconic looks, though, and maybe there's some of the trademarks, some of that kind of stuff. You obviously need a modern-day Sting, works good. Crow Sting is one you got to have, and they dance around it a little bit here. We'll get into it. But I feel like you needed a Surfer Sting to start it off with here. We got one, but we got more old school, like Blade Runner bad guy kind of Sting. I would have liked to seen a more colorful Sting for this first one. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Who knows what might happen in the future. But 3 really cool looking figures for the most part. I'm a little torn on this last one. We'll dive into it here. But I am going to take this offline, get this all out of the package. Everybody's got twist ties down, McFarlane style. Going to get these guys out of the package. We'll be back talking all things The Legacy of Sting. All right, we got all the Stings out of the package here. A lot of twist ties with these guys. But one thing I noticed unboxing here, no extra hands, no baseball bat, no accessories. Basically what you see is what you get. Robe or a jacket for every single one, and then you get the figure. That is it. I don't know if we needed extra hands or not, but for whatever reason, not in here. I will say I am saving this box. This box is too good to throw away. Even if you're a loose collector like me, this is a very cool box right here. Opens up. You can use this. My plan is to store accessories. I might put like my ladders, chairs, tables, things like that we get. Have this as a storage because this box way too nice to throw away. So I will be saving that for my collection. And once again, I'm going to chase down a mid-on box set of this. Now, getting into the set itself, we got the 3 figures here. There was room for a 4th figure. So they did use this kind of just blocker in there. It does say Sting, 1 of 6,000, Legacy of Sting. And then we got one of these coffins. That's kind of what these boxes look like, coffin boxes here. So these could be used for something as well. I might save these and use these for something. Very, very nice packaging. However, having 4 spots here, why not put a 4th Sting? I wonder if they had plans for a 4th Sting. Something fell through, something got canceled. They couldn't get the rights to something. Maybe something happened. Would have been cool to have got a 4th Sting, or it would have been cool to get a surprise Sting inside here. Maybe that could have been something. I don't know, but feels like a waste of space. There's no accessories, anything. You open it up, you think you're going to get something. There's nothing in here. So very interesting. I'd be interested to hear. I might, next time I talk to somebody from Jazzwares, ask if there was originally plans for 4 Stings here. But either way, we got 3 Stings. We're going to dive into it here, and we're going to go in chronological order is what we're going to do. We're going to go with the first Sting right here. Once again, nice coffin case for each one. It does say right on the top here, Superstar Sting. That's an interesting thing, but Superstar Sting is where we're starting. That's where we're diving into. And of course, this version of Sting, he's inseminating the cows here as he is wrapped up on the arms there with the plastic. But this is an interesting one. This reminds me of kind of like, you know, Mid-South, Blade Runner's era of Sting. Sting with Eddie Gilbert and stuff in the Mid-South before he became into our Surfer Sting, of course. Now, a little bit more angry in the face. Got the screaming head sculpt on this one here. You got the darker makeup. Bold move to go darker, but I guess it made sense if you're a bad guy. But I think most of us that came in, well, I wouldn't say most of us that came into Sting, but if you were a little kid like me in the 80s, you came into Sting in the full-on blonde and the very neon colors, the bright pinks, the bright greens, things like that. He's on his way there for this Sting here. But this is a great Sting head sculpt here. Love the paint going on. Love the hair, of course. 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, and a mouth. He's playing all them Sting human hits is what he's doing here. Of course, big jacked up body for Sting. Of course, always a body guy, that Stinger, as we know. Black tights down here. You got the scorpion on the side in black. Besides that, pretty plain Jane. That's all we get for that one there. But of course, one of the selling points of this set is the robe. And look at that high collar here. He just waltzes his way right into Club Grayskull with that high collar. He can go anywhere he wants with a collar like that. But looking very, very good. Love the sparkle in the robe here, the silver, and I guess almost like a midnight blue, but man, there's a nice sparkle to this one throughout. And then we even get a little cording on the side here, kind of like some fringe on the jacket. Looking absolutely amazing down here for Sting. So a very cool Sting, very iconic is Sting, as we know. However, this look, most people maybe, unless you're deep into it, are not aware of this era of Sting. But it is cool for a Legacy of Sting pack. You got to start somewhere. And I'm glad this is where they started with this pack. Once again, I would have liked to seen a 4th figure in here. I think they could have got a traditional Surfer Sting. Would have liked to seen that, but this makes a lot of sense. This is beginnings of Sting is what we got going on here. This is even pre-Rat Tail. No Rat Tail on this one. Now, he does fit on a Jazzwares stand. Of course, head over to Ringside. Use discount code Kyle. Pick one of those up. We will walk through the articulation on one of these. They're all going to have the identical articulation, as we do know. No accessories, anything like that besides the robe right here. But now we're moving on to probably my favorite Sting of this pack here. Legend Sting, this is called for whatever reason, but looking very good here. But this is Sting from his time in WCW, and this is kind of a forgotten look for Sting in a lot of ways because, of course, once again, you go to this era of Sting, as we know, and then your traditional Crow Sting. This one a little bit different. No singlet going on, just the jacket. Was this part of like a video game poster or something? Some media was used around this, as it is an iconic look, but I only know it from that advertisement or whatever. I don't remember ever seeing him wrestle or come down this way, but it is a cool looking version of Sting. So once again, it's right in the Crow Sting era, just a different look to that. And we've never got this in action figure form. I don't think Toy Biz did this back in the day. So I do like this. I like the long dark hair going on, the very stoic face. There's no screaming and yelling in this version of Sting. This is depressed Sting. This is listening to a Morrissey Sting or something like that, with the goth kids, like a young Darby Allin is what this is here. But love the face paint there. It's very minimalistic, but boy, it gets the point across, looking very, very nice. And then this jacket, absolutely next level on this black jacket. Got the long duster going on. You got the whitish gray on the inside color. No wrappings on this one as far as with the plastic, to protect from staining. So I guess this jacket's not going to stain because it is light on the inside. I guess that is the case there. But an interesting look at Sting. It does look a little bit unfinished. Almost looks like he needs a singlet or a t-shirt on. We just don't think of Sting looking like this. He almost looks like Fantasio or whatever is what he reminds me of here. But we do get the black gloves going on and then the plain black pants here. No design, no scorpions, nothing like that on it here. But articulation, arms all the way around, bicep cut. Double jointed pinned elbows. Yes, pinned elbows. Hands back and forth, side to side. Two gripping hands on this one. Head back and forth, side to side, removable. Hula hoop up top, plus traditional waist. Got those big old stinger splits. Watch out for them. Leg goes up. Double jointed pinned knees. And then you got the boot cut, ankles up, down, back, forth. Side to side, our usual Jazz Wears articulation at this point in time. Would have been very cool to get these as Supreme versions. Not the case, though. Not the case right here. Can I get this jacket back on? Oh, he's trying to fight me. Sting, what are we doing? We're supposed to be buddies here. We met at that Comic-Con. Remember, C2E2, I believe, is where it was. I met Svengoolie right after Sting. It was a wild time, and I am a little disappointed. I am leaving here in like 10 hours for San Diego Comic-Con, and I'm missing Svengoolie and the Sven Squad. I'm missing out. I was going to meet them, but they're there on Saturday. I'm flying out Saturday morning, so very unfortunate times for me. I don't think Sting's going to be there, but 2 years ago, he made a surprise appearance, so you never know. You never know what might happen, as we know as well. But this Sting is interesting. A little floppy in the waist for this one here. As you can see, that's straight frog out of the river. You reach out, get that frog, and his legs are dangling. We got that very, very loose up top. Yeah, it's just naturally loose. So that is a little unfortunate. Nobody likes loose joints, that's for sure. But interesting Sting. A Sting we've never got, at least as I remember. Unless it was Toy Biz somewhere. I don't think so. But very, very cool in the Icon Sting era. Looking very nice. But now, I guess, moving on to the Icon Sting era. A long way to get there. Once again, we get the coffin case Icon Sting on the bottom there. Truly an icon, as we do know, but this is the Sting we know in the modern day, I guess, with Darby Allin. I like to have Sting. I'd rather have some Sting than no Sting, but it was always a little interesting. And man, shout out to Sting for his final run there, especially his last match. He went all in, so kudos to him for sure. But for whatever reason, I did not like Sting in this leather jacket. It just felt weird to me. I don't know. It felt weird to me, but that's what we got right here. And we've got a lot of old man Stings. That's what we'll call it from Jazzwares. Here's another one. So I think for myself and maybe you, am I speaking for you? I'm speaking for Todd McFarlane for sure. I'm not. I'm going to try to, Todd. This is probably the least favorite from everybody in this set. It's just pretty close to what we've had numerous times over the last couple of years. These two still feel very new, not just because they're a part of this package either. But we got the leather jacket for Sting. Old school 80s like bomber style jacket too, of course. He looks like he's going to join up on an episode of Wings or something. That's what it looks like. He's going to hang out with Lowell Mather. Oh, shout out to Lowell Mather there. But it is Sting, very depressed, very stoic in the face, a little bit more ornate around the lips and stuff for Sting, but it looks like Sting. Somebody hands you this, you know who it is. Light brown hair on Sting as well. And then you got the Sting shirt. I guess the sweater over the top, basically, what he wore at the end of his run. You got the long sleeve black scorpion shirt going on. And then you got the black pants, black boots. Back in black like a young AC/DC right here is what he is. Articulation can be the same as everybody else. On the back of the jacket, you got the Sting, you got the logo, the baseball bats, all that kind of good stuff going on. But a lot of what we've seen before as well. And he does fit on a Mattel Jazzwares stand. So an interesting box set. I would have liked to seen 4, especially with the extra space in that box. I think there's room for, of course, our old friend Surfer Sting. I think they could have grabbed a variant of this one with the rat tail, all of that. Starter Sting on his way to, Glory Sting. You get the WCW era and then the final AEW era. And you can make the point easily we should have a TNA era, maybe a Joker Sting somewhere in here. But it does come down to a lot of legal ramifications, a lot of legal rights to this. That always gets a little convoluted because just because we want it and it makes a lot of sense doesn't mean they have access to do it. Especially like this WCW Sting. He might have done something outside of WCW or something that gave them an option to do this one. So it's always hard to kind of figure that out and where the legalities lie. But man, oh man, can you imagine if this was like a 5-pack where you had these 4, let's say, but then Joker Sting in the middle there? Man, oh man, it would be cool. There's still a possibility. There's a lot of looks from Sting, especially the classic neon bright color Stings. If somehow the stars align somewhere, they could make a fabulous pack, just like that Toy Biz one once upon a time. Would absolutely love to see it, but man, oh man, no matter what I say about this one, this is still a fun pack. I'd rather have this pack than no Sting pack. Always happy to get a new Sting figure, even if it's one we've seemingly had repeatedly over the last couple of years. There is a lot of fun around this. If you're a mid-on card collector, you're a loose collector, there's something for everybody right here. And obviously, I'm a huge Sting fan, so I'm going to enjoy it. Could be better, yes, but for what we got here, I'm pretty happy. And we were wondering if this was coming out quite some time ago, as we saw this at San Diego Comic-Con a year plus ago, I think. So it's good to finally get this out here to the masses, to everybody here. So there it is, the Sting Jazzwares Vault, 1 of 6,000 pack. Be interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Is this a pickup for you? Is this a pass? Long game? No game? I'm not so sure game. I want more Sting game. Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. And then some. Of course, then some. Yes. We also got 2 YouTube channels going on. Make sure you subscribe to both of those. Check out YouTube channel memberships. Check out the Patreon. And check out my podcast each and every single Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, videocast on YouTube. Old Angie, she's there along for the ride. She loves a good ride, as we do know. So check out my wife. Check out me on our podcast each and every Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, videocast on YouTube. SirPaul64 on the X, where you can get a hold of me. _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com is the email for the channel. So for the legacy of Sting, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?